are, of course, live on Ibu TV, but we need to go for a short commercial break. Like, when we come back, it's about to get hot in here. People saying that, oh, Anga, me, I don't want to get married. Anga, marriages don't work. Anga, men are like this, men are like that. Hashtag Nairobi. What do you think about it? We're going to be tackling that particular conversation. We're going to be having some amazing panelists who are going to be chatting with me on the conversation table today. We're going to be having Frida Kithinji and Cleopas, who's also a marriage counselor as well.
We need to know that times have changed. Come in knowing I'm a lady. The thing here is being able to balance. If the wife is working somewhere and she's busy, tired, maybe coming a bit late.
Okay, to support your woman.
It's okay to support because we are a team. It's still good to know that when I go at home, I'm not a manager anymore. You know, I need to drop that title and, you know, wear it when I'm going out. Yeah, when I come, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. You know, I need to nurture my family.
To independence, we're like, me, I'm not about that life. I'm not about to do that. But now from the aspect where you want your man to understand, let's say, sote tumetoka kazi, like both of us are working 8 to 5, we're super, super tired. And maybe you just want him to help a bit. Let's do this together. As he stated, we're a team. What do you think about that? And how can that be communicated in a way that will ensure that both parties are okay?
The starting point would be the understanding of meaning and purpose of marriage. I think that's the starting point because there is a meaning, like for companionship, for union, being together, for sharing ideas. So that understanding needs to start from there. And for people to have that understanding, there is importance of proper preparation for marriage. And there are about 2 or 3 stages of preparation. The first is when children are growing up, they observe and they catch what the parents are doing among themselves. And that's where now, if a young man grew up with a father who was not performing certain tasks in the family, he observed that this is how husbands need to be. Or a lady who grew up where the father was able to support the mother in everything. So the preparation for marriage at that young age was that we can support each other. So, and that's where now the starting point. Then there is the proximate preparation, where now as people are going through adolescence, they are being helped to understand and to start asking themselves what kind of marriage, what are the roles and responsibility, how should we be able to partner together if we are getting in for companionship. Companionship means what? Is it only when we are going out, or is it even when we are in the house? And then issues like union, what are we talking about if it is for a unitive purpose of the things that we do? And then for intimacy, all those things need to be discussed to young people as they are growing up. Then there is the immediate preparation for marriage before people go to marriage. That's where there need to be scientific topics that discuss the roles and responsibility, finances, conflict resolution, all those things that can bring problems in marriage. And when people are well prepared, then when they get into marriage, the kind of conflict we are having are not there. Then the other thing is what I said earlier on. When we compare 10 years ago, how husbands used to be, or 20 years, and today, things have changed. Young people are helped by proper parenting to start preparing, because even a young man before he gets married, he will cook for himself. He will wash his clothes. And then what changes when he gets married? So those are some of the dynamics. And in that, we have some powerful approaches that we are borrowing now to support couples. And it is one of them is the situation itself is not the issue. Like a man supporting the wife in the housework, or the lady supporting and doing things, even if she's earning more than the man in development. Because things are now changing. It's not when already get married and expect the young man to do everything.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 mutual in everything. We meet in the middle.
Yeah.
So when people start understanding the situation we are living in, then each couple understand they are unique.
Yeah.
And they are in unique circumstances. And so a young lady will have to look at the situation they are in and then see the beliefs. And those beliefs could be inherited, could be what is happening in the society, the stereotype.
Yeah.
Me, I would expect my man to be taking me out every weekend. Yeah? Me, I would expect my man to make my hair, and I would expect this style.
Yeah.
Me, I would expect to eat this kind of food. Those are beliefs, and those beliefs are not there or here, there. They are things that people learn as they socialize with others, and they see like this is what marriage is all about. And so when people have that beliefs, then the consequence is they feel disappointed, they feel betrayed,
Yeah.
they feel they are not happy in this marriage because my man is not going to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And he may not necessarily go to the kitchen and cook. Sometimes women like it when they are the ones cooking, because there's something nice about feminine. You know, human sexuality is about expression of who you are as a woman. And sometimes there are things that come naturally, not because people are told cook or don't. And then she'll be very happy if this husband is seated next to her.
Just keeping her company.
Yeah, cracking jokes, tasting the meat. You know, those small things, it's not necessarily that you have to do. And then depending on where you are, you could be having certain people supporting you in the cooking. We already have machines that are helping us in the clothes. We have people who are helping us in the washing. So sometimes I wonder why we would want to go to that long time ago when there was sweeping, where there was fetching up fire hoods. We are in a different generation. And as such, our thinking needs to change. So the beliefs need to be changed. Then the thoughts that we go through when we get into marriage. And when we start asking ourselves deeper questions, and more so like for those who are exposed, if you have already gotten a university study, you are a critical thinker. And a critical thinker is the one who gathers information and says, as a couple, this is what is good for us. We cannot have uniform, that this is what men should do, this is what women should do. We are at an age where couples need to find where they are. And they can be supported now by psychologists, by counselors, or even when we have groups and opportunity for people to be trained, for people to be prepared. And the young people, we need to start having that discussion, even as early as when they're in primary school or secondary school, and start asking what is marriage. Because I feel what is lacking is people do not understand the meaning and the purpose of marriage. Because they look at only one aspect, because the thinking has been on marital act or on sexuality. And sexuality is not the whole person. It has been reduced to genitalia. So when people think of only the genitalia, they are going into marriage with the aspect of pressure. And when they don't get that pressure that they're getting from mass media, then all from media, then they feel disappointed. They conclude marriage is not working. But it is beyond that. Human sexuality is not just about the genitalia. It's how you express it. And so as young men, as young women, as older men, even ourselves, we are in a different dispensation. We cannot act the way my grandfathers used to act. I have to change how I relate with my partner because we are in a different time.
You've spoken about so many things and opened us up to so many aspects of everything. You've spoken about the division of labor, of course, in a house, and how spouses can divide maybe duties amongst themselves because it just comes from understanding. And that's, thank you, that was very, very important. And there's an aspect that you raised, preparation for a marriage. I come from a society or a culture that is the Swahili culture. You find for a Swahili woman, once you are to get married or all your life, you're prepared to be a good wife. You're prepared to cook the way a good wife is supposed to cook. By now, me, I know I've been made to cook chapos, yani. I even hate chapos because ushakanta your unga, ushafanya everything. You've been prepared massively. So preparation has been done, and even before you get married, uwa unapatiwa somo so that anakutrain, so that you're always told usirudi kwa nyumba yangu, hautaregeshwa kwa nyumba yangu because you don't know how to cook, because you don't know how to keep your man and all of that. But on the flip side, there's not enough preparation that's done to the man or to the boy who is receiving this girl. So could you talk about the preparation or how we can do that better, or what role preparation plays in marriage, Frida?
Yeah, preparation is very important. Before someone goes into something, I think it's good to count the cost, to prepare.
And what preparations can be done for the man as well?
For the man, it is important, first of all, for him to have some mentors or a mentor who is able to share with him, ask about marriage. What are their expectations in marriage? You know, what are the things that I can do better, you know, for my woman, for my marriage. So it is very important for him to have a mentor. It is good for him to be prepared psychologically, because that psychological maturity is very important. If someone is not psychologically prepared, that I'm getting into this, and these are the expectations, or these are the responsibilities that I'm going to get to do, and I'm ready for them, it is very, very important. Especially issues of children. When children come, the men need to know, or the man need to know, he needs to be there for their wife, you know, to support her, especially the first days when the baby is born. It's very tiring, and the man can be able to hold the baby, you know, as the wife, you know, take some rest. Even when the visitors come, he can be able to help in the kitchen. So all those preparation, psychological preparation, emotional preparation, because I mean, there's a lot that comes with marriage. How about financial preparation? It's also important for him to know, when I get into marriage, it's not about me, myself, and I. You know, there's another mouth to
Frida, I'm so sorry
yes.
to have to cut you short. We need to change something on your mic, because you're giving us such wisdom, and it would be quite unfortunate for the people back at home not to hear you. From Cleopas' perspective, preparation, especially from a man's perspective, you are a man. How would you prepare, let's say, if you would have a son? I'm not aware of that. How would you prepare him for marriage? Because you say, okay, a woman should do this, a woman should do that and that and that. But what mantle would you pass over, and what are the negative implications of lack of preparation in a marriage?
Okay, you have brought up a very good aspect, like you have even said about yourself, the culture you are coming from.
Yeah.
So we acknowledge there are some places where the cultural has been maintained. And culturally, there was processes of preparing a man for marriage. Like, for instance, a very important that is almost across all cultures, like in Kenya, is rites of passage.
Yeah.
Because it was during the rites of passage that the young men were prepared. When you get married, these are the expectations. That's what you need to do. Now, some cultures have not focused on that, and things have really changed. So the first thing is there is need for a system, and more so because some of these things are happening now in churches or in schools, where young men are being prepared for the future. So for preparation for marriage, is not specifically to talk about marriage. One is a man. Before you get married, you have to be a man. So the first preparation is, what does it mean to be a man who respects women? So generally, when a young boy is growing up, being helped to respect their mother and to be kind to women and to see women as people who are important in their life. Then they are sisters. Then when they go to school, they are helped to live together with young girls and young boys. When they get to secondary during adolescence, they are also prepared to understand where they are their stages in life. So that process scientifically, because it's good now to start looking at, we are moving away from the culture, but we are preparing people scientifically. And scientifically, there is a lot of research. Like already we have, when people are growing from one stage to another, like puberty, this is what is happening. What does it mean for the young men? So if we have processes and lessons and people who are well prepared, because also we have the people who are interacting with the young man as he's growing up, starting from the family, not necessarily a father, but father figures. When they go to school, these men in school, have they been helped to become men? because they are their role model. That's what is helping this young man. So by the time the man is getting married now, going to the second stage, he is already a mature man.
Yeah.
So what is the problem is when men are not helped from boys to young adolescents to young adult, what does it mean to become a man? How do you show respect to women? Because really, if you have not shown respect to girls when you are growing up, you've been beating them, abusing them, taking advantage of them, manipulating them, thinking of them as object. Then when you get married, will you respect this woman that you're going to stay with as the wife and the mother of your children? So preparation is not only talking about getting married. It's about preparing this man to be a man and to be mature. So that when he gets to marriage, the immediate preparation now, we are only shaping what is there.
Yeah.
So, and then there is also some cultural values that need to be appreciated, like that what you have said. There are certain things that boys need to be trained. Before, 20 years ago, some cultures were training men for fighting because they are animals and all that. Today, we are helping them to use their brains to be able to critically think, to know how to develop, how to save, how to be emotionally stable, how to express their own emotions, how to think, how to be someone who can support another person. So the preparation now and the way boys need to be prepared is to integrate in our education system, in our spiritual institution, in the media also, because like this information we are passing, I'm hoping the young men who are reasoning, they are looking to themselves. Am I really mature? When it comes to finances, economic maturity, it's not how much money you are getting. It's if you are getting 10,000, how can you be able to save that 10,000 and use it in a way that it will multiply in 10 years to come? That is now the things we need to talk about economic maturity. Dependable. Are you there for people when they are having difficulties? You have a friend, okay, they call girlfriend, I don't know, but I really would want to know at what point, or lovers, and they're expressing how they feel, but they express to 10 others because they're in a stage of adolescence and puberty. And it's not that they love this particular one. It's hormones. Because even men, we only talk about the ladies with hormones. But even men, they have testosterone. And when they are doing what they are doing, it's not because they love this girl. It's just because of their attractiveness. So we need to support these young men as they grow, so that they can differentiate between the infatuation, the things they feel because of their men, and the love which is there between a man and a woman. So that preparation of being dependable, you can be emotionally available to another human person. So there are a number of things that we need to put in place.
I'm sorry to Nani, because I don't want that point to skip. You've mentioned a very important aspect, emotional unavailability when it comes to other people. And now when it comes to marriage, the biggest reason why people don't want to get into marriage is because they think, oh, wanaume siku hizi, yani mwanaume ni wako sasa ile uko na yeye. Sasa ile wako na yeye is for everyone. So the aspect of infidelity and the aspect of jealousy, it reaches a point you even want to see your man's phone, like kila masaa anaongea na nani, who is she, you know, all of that. So number one, starting with the aspect of jealousy. What impact does it have on a marriage, and when is it too far? When does it become too far?
Jealousy versus infidelity?
Yeah, starting from the aspect of jealousy tu, yani tu ile wivu, ni wivu gani mzuri na ni gani mbaya? And how do you handle it?
It's good to be jealous, especially with that which you love, you know, that which is yours. Of course, in a good way. I think when we talk of jealous, I think it's more of something that you own, something that you value, and it's yours, and you want to keep it, and you want to protect. And so I know men are the ones that are quite jealous, if we can use that, that term. Yes, with their women. Oh my goodness, yes. Yes, they like to keep their women. This is my woman, you know, my own, and that's the way they are created, you know. And actually, no one wants to share, even a lady.
A quick one, is it true? I'm jealous.
I might need to look at it at a broader level because
I just want a yes or no before we come back to you. Before we come back to you, I know you want to defend the men, but
not defending. But the thing is, this is a broad thing.
Yeah.
You may not generalize.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I was looking at it from the point that this is mine, and they would want to protect that which is theirs, and even the ladies, not that they don't want to protect, but I think when it comes to issues of jealous and the reason why even you see a lot of killing in marriage, especially by the men, it's because of that aspect of jealous. Your mind, you know, especially if he loves genuinely and he feels, you know, he's into you, he would want to keep you and to have you as their own. But sometimes I think it's unhealthy.
When does it become unhealthy?
It becomes unhealthy, especially when you become insecure and you want to protect this person and get to like monitor where she's going, where is she. So sometimes it can become overboard so that the lady feels like she doesn't have a life of her own. She doesn't have freedom, maybe even to be with her friends and to enjoy even the me time in marriage. So that becomes a challenge. But I think it's also an issue of trust. If people can be able to develop trust between themselves, then it doesn't have, as much as that jealous is there in terms of, maybe you can say it's God-given, then it's also good to love and to trust and to let go to some point and for the person, the other party to be able to be themselves. And it goes also the other way for the ladies. We are also jealous, but I think the ladies, most of the time, you know, they trust, they let go. You know?
And you know, at times, especially during this digital era, unapataga, some things you just can't avoid. Unaingia social media and then you see this woman that you've been telling him, I don't trust this woman. Unamuona, ana like picha yake, ana comment pale picha yake, every single place, and you're like, you're very, very jealous. So number one, if I'm the man in the relationship, how do I deal with that sense of jealousy? How do I bring now the trust and assurance to ensure that I'm avoiding such problems?